Hey everybody, it's Bryant. I apologize for not getting a sharing video up sooner this week, but I have been a little bit sick, and I apologize for any sniffling that I'll have to do during this, so you'll have to bear with me. This particular application that I made is demonstrating what JUnit is and why it's important. So first of all, I thought I'd probably talk about what is it? What is JUnit? It's an open source framework for writing and running test cases for Java programs. And when I first read that, I thought, oh, great. I can test them without something like this. I could just write the application and test it. So why would something like this be necessary? And the more that I read into it and studied it, it makes a lot of sense. If, say, for example, you were developing a web application that depended on a server and was connected to a server, anytime that you would make changes to your application, those changes could potentially affect the server as well. And say you had a bad bug or something that actually caused the whole server to crash, that would not be good. So because of that, JUnit especially is a way that we can test those type of web applications, and it acts as if we're testing them on a server, even if there's not a server present. So it's a good way to kind of get some of that stuff out of the way and make sure we're not going to have any server issues. Let me show you here. Let's see. The first thing that you had to download is, of course, the JUnit jar files. That's pretty standard for most of these applications. You have to have those to make it work. So I downloaded those. That's why you see those there as a reference library. And then you actually go in and you define your test cases, which is kind of what I've done here. So I've said, value 1 and value 2, test that, give those values some actual values. And so without going into too much detail, essentially what this is doing is when I hit run, it will actually run the items that I have specified here. And if they fail, it'll tell me they failed. And if it passes, it'll tell me they passed. And it'll tell me specifically each one. So it can be really helpful in debugging code. And then there's just this here, which this isn't too important. This is just saying we're going to add A and B and subtract A and B. So the main thing is in here. And then the cool thing about this is you could go in and define more test cases, just to say, hey, you know what, just if the user decides to do something really crazy, what if they did that? What's going to happen? And then we could test it. So let me run this for you and show you kind of what it looks like. So it comes back, ran 3 items, 0 errors, 0 failures. And there we go. It tested addition, tested subtraction, and then I had another one here that was a failed addition. And so this is only 3, but you could go in and you can write as many as you want. And really, that's about it as far as JUnit. I can see definitely how this would be essential as you got into much more complicated applications, and especially ones that could potentially affect a lot of people or a lot of servers at the same time. And that's really about all I've got on that one. Sorry I didn't show my face or anything this time. I've been a little bit sick, but hopefully that was helpful. This will be posted on my team's community and then also on my GitHub. And then finally, I have been working on my, let's see, what we call that? My evidence of professional behavior document, which I'm pretty much done with. I'm going to submit to Brother Tuckett. However, if any of you, whether it's my team or just anyone in the class, actually views this video and you do get to the end of it and it was helpful to you or even not helpful to you, please write a comment so I can possibly go ahead and insert that into this final document that I'm going to submit to Brother Tuckett. But if not, that's fine too. So thanks. Hope you enjoyed it.